The long-awaited Valorant update is finally here, and I'll be going over everything you need to know about Act 3 and the latest update, patch 4.08. The new update introduced a brand new agent to the roster, Fade, the Turkish bounty hunter. She is an initiator with some pretty unique abilities. The first of her abilities is the Q ability, Seize. Throwing this orb will create a field around the enemy and tether them to within the radius of the orb. And her next ability is her E, Haunt. Throwing this orb will reveal enemies caught in its line of sight. However, this can be destroyed really easily, but it is super useful to gain your team information. Fade gets this ability for free at the start of the round, and once it's used, it cannot be used again for about 35 seconds. Next up is Fade's C ability, Prowler. This is basically a mix between Sky's Dog and her Seekers. Fade can use this to gather information for the team by either sending the Prowler off in a straight line or control it by holding the fire button. This ability can also follow trails, such as when your Haunt ability spots an enemy and creates a trail to them. If the Prowler reaches the enemy, they will be nearsighted, similar to an Omen Flash. You're able to purchase up to 2 of this ability, which is a good thing because they can be shot out pretty easily. Fade's final ability is her X, Nightfall. This covers about as much area as a Breach's ult. Now this wave of energy can travel through walls. If the enemy is caught inside, they will be decayed and deafened. Now when I say deafened, I mean straight up deaf. You can't hear a damn thing. And on top of that, it creates a nice little trail that'll lead you right to the enemy. And another huge change to Valorant is the changes to Jett and her Tailwind. When pressing E, Jett will use her Tailwind charge, and after a 0.75 second delay, activates a 12-second window where she can dash. And don't worry, Jett's dash still has a 2-kill reset. Now I've heard some people call this a buff, and some people call this a nerf, but in my opinion on it, if you're good with Jett, and you can think ahead on when you'll need to dash, then it shouldn't be much of an issue. You'll still be able to dash onto site, and if you're opping, as long as your aim is good, you can easily get a pick and dash out just like before. Of course, this will take some time to get used to, just like any other changes Riot makes to anything, but after a while of getting used to this, it'll be like second nature and seem like nothing has changed. Riot did say they'll be keeping an eye on Jett and every other agent due to this change. They expect this change to have a ripple effect on other agents and the ecosystem of Valorant. So who knows, we might see some more changes to Jett, or maybe Phoenix? Probably not, but I'm trying to give the Phoenix main some hope. To finish it off, Riot said, overall we want Jett to have her power moments, and to be able to dash, but we also want viable counterplays, and for Jett players to be more thoughtful when using their abilities. And Jett wasn't the only agent to receive some changes. Riot also made some changes to Neon, such as removing damage from her wall, and increasing battery energy when killing an enemy. They also made it to where her slide cannot be cast during equip delay, velocity restriction removed, her energy drain increased, and she can now slide sideways forward and only require she is moving. And our final agent change is to Sova. Now I don't play Sova, and I also never thought that he was overpowered. In my opinion, I think they should have just left him alone. But Riot had other plans and thought differently. Sova's owl drone duration has been reduced to 7 seconds and its health to 100. His dart now only pings 2 times instead of 3. The shock dart had its damage decreased from 90 to 75, which means it's still high enough to get some of those cool clips you guys love to make. They also made some quality of life changes, and if you want to pause the video, here they are. And the final thing I'd like to go over is the changes to the 5-stack Q in comp. They have reduced rank rating, gain or loss penalty for different 5-stack configurations. If everyone is between Iron and Diamond 2, there will be no RR penalty if everyone ranks falls between these, but a 25% RR penalty for all players if anyone falls outside of this grouping. If anyone is between Diamond 3 and Immortal 3, there will be a 25% RR penalty for all players. And if anyone is Radiant, it will be a 75% penalty. And a little side note, they also tuned matchmaking to reduce the wait time for 5 stacks. So hopefully I won't have to wait 30 to 40 minutes to get into a match. Hopefully. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If it helped you out, please drop a like and hit the subscribe button.